My love, you just had a baby. Are we even ready for 2026?
I guess there's only one time to find out.
Oh, man. Guys, Bryan and Lana Rodriguez here, and we're going to bring you an incredible what to do in 2026. Since 2022 all the way to now, we've experienced a lot of challenges and opportunities, and we've taken those lessons learned so we can not only collaborate and dominate in 2026, but really live out the life we want to live. So let's get right to it.
Well, for our new audience, just to be specific, we have been in business since 2015. It's just in 2022, the market has drastically shifted, and we have to pivot and adapt to the new ways of doing business.
No, without a doubt. If you're not pivoting, I don't know what you're doing, right? So
they're doing something, but they're not pivoting.
They're not pivoting. But you definitely pivoted with 3 children. So let's talk about that.
Hashtag mama of 3. What's up? It's as you know, we've had 2 wonderful children, and after our second child, we decided we are done. Let's make a special effect. Dun. Just kidding. But as I was turning 40 very, very soon, I was doing a lot of soul searching and praying, and I was just calling it in. And friends, if you're watching and if there's something on your radar that it seems like a far goal or maybe it's impossible, start praying, because hashtag God is good for us praying. But universe will deliver, or universe will give you a sign if it's a yay or an nay. And I was praying for our daughter. I wanted to be her, and she came through. She came in like a wrecking ball,
Yes.
Wrecking ball.
I think
I'm just full of songs today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I think Lana took something before.
I actually did. I took the supplement for hyperfocus.
Hyperfocus.
Yeah, and it just brings all these things into my mind.
We'll put that in the show notes. But first, I want to say thank you for that sacrifice. You know, 3 kids is a serious responsibility, and as you know, ever since we had Olivia, I've always been, a little hesitant on, parenthood and that responsibility that comes with it. And over the years, I think I've learned that life's moments, life's events are really catalytic for us. And, when we had Olivia, when we had Leah, when we had Mila, they really propelled us in terms of seeing this new season.
The new season, yeah.
And, I think people have been talking about like new seasons, new scorecards. And ever since we had Mila, our season changed. And the scorecard for us is now health, family sales. Yeah, and when you can clearly depict that, it's pretty. There's a lot of confidence that comes with that, because you know what you need to do. We need to get healthier. We know we need to focus on being present with the family. Yeah. And we know we always need to be learning and selling.
Always ABC, and always be closing.
Now we know that you got to pivot, and we know that we can't let go of our vision. That's why we got to adapt.
Bryan, you're absolutely right. With a new year and change of the market, there's so much adversity. But when you decided to bring a life into your equation, as especially of a family of 2 self-employed entrepreneurs, it seeks planning, proper execution, and then you have to be ready that things may not go as planned. When I decided to pull a trigger on baby Mila, of course, with the mutual agreement of our family, because we knew the baby was going to come. We just didn't know when. My aces were in places. I thought I got it. The team was fully intact. The client community was ready to go, and the market was manageable. It didn't suck, but it was not great, but we were still making sales. And the biggest curveball of last year was we lost a couple very, very valuable team members. And I literally just found out I was pregnant. And me as a team leader, as a loving person that I am, I had to pivot. I had to very, very fast go through some self-growth and just to analyze how am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? But we made the ends meet. And the ultimate sacrifice was to opt in for the lower production. For anyone's watching, you probably have heard, but we are a top producing team in the city many, many years. We have been blessed with amazing working bar for all business. But 2025 was a big wake-up call, because if Lana wants to be a mom all over again and put her almost 40-year-old body through that childbirth and all the things all over again, and if you're watching, you're thinking to have a kid at 40 or before, please reach out to me, because we'll talk about that. I have some details to share. but we had to opt it in for lower production, and it's okay. As our mentor, Bryan said, if you are going through the significant event of your life in that specific year, you cannot compare your production then to production when you're fully capable, operate on a high level.
That's right. That's right. And talk about production. What amplifies production is AI.
Ooh.
And so number 2,
Yeah.
one of the focal points we're going to focus on is really embracing AI. Technology is there as not only a tool, but it's there to amplify originality. And that's what I love about AI. I always think of AI as like I'm the author and they're the editor. So what are your thoughts on embracing technology?
So I think the biggest topic of discussion since AI made this huge launch a few years ago, and many people are still adapting to the idea, will AI replace me? And my answer to you is absolutely not, unless you're the graphic designer or copywriter. But if you're the realtor or lending professional, real estate professional, you will not be replaced. However, as the technology progresses, you might be replaced by people who know how to use AI and technology properly. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I love it. I'll just continue with that thought. I would tell you, since the beginning of time, it's always been man versus man, and then technology comes in. It's man with weapons versus man with weapons.
True that, yeah.
And it's really the one who has the better weapon or knows how to use the weapons. And so I'm really excited just to, use it as a type term, right? But
he's a military guy. That's why I'm talking Army lingo.
if you literally look at AI and you're just like, how do I embrace it? How do I use it every day? I'm telling you, it would be incredibly effective. I mean, I want to put the nano link that Elon Musk is talking about.
I'll consider it too, to be honest.
Yeah, because in real estate, there's so much literature, right? Title, HOA, loan products. If you're in commercial, you're thinking of all the terms and the zoning and the uses, and there's just so much that you don't have time to sit there and read, right? No one does, right? Because the world moves fast.
Yeah.
And I love how I can take so much data and compute it very fast so I can be more efficient. I can answer back to the client.
Yeah.
I can help them make a decision quicker.
Yeah. Now I have been watching you use AI, and at first I was like, okay, because guys, this has got to the point where Bryan is like sending me communication. He's communicating to his wife via AI paragraphs, and I'm like, please cut that crap. We're not about that. And I had ChatGPT basic version downloaded on my phone, and I hated it. It did not sync with me. It provided the most basic generic paragraphs, and I was like, this is BS. But remember when we had Drew come out with Real Academy, and he had a live presentation, I think, with Kyle, and he did something, and I was like, wait a second, AI can do that? Immediately then, I downloaded ChatGPT, paid version, $20 a month. And it's not going to be this unicorns and roses and magic. You have to prompt it. You have to educate who you are, how you operate, and it's going to take a few times. But to be honest, now my ChatGPT is my best friend. I use it daily for anything. To be honest, I don't even Google anything. I just ask my ChatGPT. And if I have to ask, hey, who am I? She, because my AI is she, her name is Sage. Yeah, ask me about that later. She will tell me, you are this real estate professional, mom of 3. You have these goals. You're married to Bryan. So we are super in sync, but it took time. But friends, what do I use it for? Bryan, what do you use AI for?
I mean, I talked about the literature, but that literature really just comes into due diligence, right? And we'll talk about due diligence because that's really where the work lies in 2026. But again, you want to give your client quantitative information as soon as possible so they can make an informed decision. And when they have an informed decision, they're going to be more confident and understand the risk and reward with everything.
Yeah, and I also actually love the AI implementation of AI Leo at our Real Broker. It's an entry-level testing stages, and we are already using it as agents, and we're growing it together. We're helping it to coach it and train it. But how awesome is this being part of the brokerage, which is number one technology is number one goal, and then you have your own AI to ask all kind of transaction-related questions. I mean, we're super blessed with that. So.
Oh, of course. It's only year 4 for us, and I could see how robust it's going to get. And they're doing some stuff that we don't even believe it can do it yet.
Yeah,
and so I can't wait till it evolves.
Yep.
And so AI, I'm telling you, if you're not embracing it, good luck. So now we know AI can help you, be more efficient. We know that it can help you be more effective. But at the end of the day, you have to be present, right? You can't just live within the technology, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about being present in 2026.
One of my favorite saying is, do not be a secret real estate agent. And I don't mean to attack anybody, but when like you get a friend request and you see their realtor, but there's a profile picture of the squirrel. Cannot make this up. I just saw it a few days ago. Please don't do yourself disservice. And when somebody's checking you out on social media, and possibly if you work by referral, before they contact you, they're going to try to look you up. Are you a legit person? Are you a person of a good character, a family person, a person of good values? And are you even a producing agent? So if you have a picture of the squirrel, it's your profile photo on Facebook, like your chances are right now, our job as real estate professionals is to reach out to the public and show them who we are, what we do, and are we able to be trusted? Because we just talked about AI. This is a technology era, and your consumer is consuming something. I would really hope that your consumer online is consuming mostly your content that you put out. And you don't have to be social media guru. You don't have to hire a professional videographer. But if you want, you should hire Old Glory Media in Colorado Springs because they are legit. However, it can be posts. It can be personal photos of you with your family. It can be you sharing and supporting local businesses, but please start putting your content out there. It can be in entry-level stages. For example, posting in stories is amazing. It's very free. You're posting something in the stores and it dies in 24 hours. No strings attached, because I'd much rather your consumers start watching you versus your competitor or those AI-generated commercials or like big companies who do mass ad spend to take our business.
So that's great, because that's being present in the matrix, if you will. But,
Yeah.
You talked about the challenges we experienced last year, with our people, with the market, with clients, with our own little core, right? Yeah. And I feel like leadership in 2026 is about being visible, about being present. And, in business terms, they used to call it like management by walking around, right? Like not just, living behind the phone,
Yeah.
right? And it's crazy because I think we're entering this time where people feel comfortable operating in the matrix. And, again, through Zoom, through social groups, through camera, through everything. And at the end of the day, you always say it, man, people remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And that's how you stay top of mind.
Top of mind, big deal.
Yeah. It's so important. And I'm kind of nervous because I feel like, I think there'll be a world where being intentional in proximity of people is going to be like the new club. And so I think if you can continue that authenticity, you can be intentional and you can go out and reach people like you did it this morning with the Blitz program.
Yeah.
Right?
We're starting the Blitz. So if you are not doing Blitz with Buffini and Company, you should consider that. Ask me or Bryan for details, but we're a little bit late. We're like midweek late, but we are doing this.
Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And
yeah, that's right.
And so I love that because, that's how you started the business. That's how you grew such an incredible presence, is because you would do pop-bys. You would write handwritten notes. Like that's a presence, right? They actually feel that. You have literally created events and you created experiences for people to always remember, because it's hard, man. They're just going to scroll. Yeah, you did a cool video.
Yeah.
But man, they'll never forget that pumpkin patch you had for them.
Or the pumpkin pie delivered to their door.
Or delivered to their door.
Share of those. But Bryan, may I add, as real estate professionals and as lending professional friends who are watching this too, it's our job to be within the reach of our clients, meaning if they think of real estate, we need to be accessible, we need to be visible, we need to be top of mind, like Bryan said, and don't go into the hiding mode. When things are tough, it's so easy to go into hiding mode. I'm guilty at heart, because when last year I was going through my first trimester, I was awfully sick. I was like throwing up a couple times a day, and I didn't want no human contact. I was hiding. I would even stay at home and work from home just to not to be triggered. And so I don't want my team to see me throwing up. I didn't want him to see me throwing up. However, I'll tell you one thing. My clients never felt the void or the gap. And they also did not know I was pregnant for a very long time. I was hiding it. I didn't want people to judge me because actually, as a being woman pregnant in real estate, people may not use it. It happened to my friend Megan. She lost $2 million listings because she was pregnant. And the client thought she was not going to do a good enough job. So it happens in our real estate. And it's our job as real estate professionals, be within the reach of a client when they think, okay, you should be very easily accessible. Either it's your cell phone or email, and they should not like go through their, Rolodex to find your information. And luckily we're part of Buffini and Company, and Bryan Buffini is pitching for us to work based on relationship connections and working by referral. And I feel like it's been the biggest blessing.
Well, I think the biggest blessing you always taught me when it comes to being present is people follow presence, not perfection. I always struggle about like, hey, we got to do this right. We got to do it the best. And you're like, Bryan, you really just need to be present. Yeah. You need to be consistently present. And I love that. And I think proximity is power.
And that's where authenticity, see, I can spell it, authenticity goes a long way. A lot of times we want to put a picture perfect image of us. But honestly, there's so much crap out there, like all these influencers who think they can show up super glammed up on social media and that's going to get them business. It works for some, but it doesn't work for the majority of the people. So the more authentic you're going to come. Now, there's a difference between being authentic and putting your dirty laundry out there. Be very, very careful and do not cross that line. But showing up with your faults, like I have gray hair. I posted a picture with gray hair yesterday. Now they colored, you cannot see. So many ladies reached out to me like, oh my God, me too. What do you use to cover it? Like today I posted a picture about ADHD. And like it's my superpower. Okay.
It is.
Actually ADHD is somebody's superpower. Just like OCD is somebody's superpower too.
Wow. No, but I think there is research on ACDC.
That too.
ADHD. That's actually a superpower. But speaking about ADHD, and we're just jumping around.
We're just jumping around.
Let's just jump right back into the matrix with social media.
Ooh, yeah.
So as one of you're probably your proudest cheerleader, right? I've always admired you.
I admire you too.
And follow you, right?
You better follow me. There are times, guys, when Bryan does not like my post. He's like, oh, I see you posted this. I'm like, are you going to comment or like? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, come on, dude.
Anyways.
Always support your peers.
That's right. And so, it's funny because people still see it as like a goal, a vision, the end state. But really, it's still a tool.
Yeah.
That's going to get you to the end state. And I've always been challenged by that over the years. And I feel like in 2026, social media is going to be part of my arsenal.
Yeah.
It's going to be a goal. And I can't wait because, our brand has only amplified because of social media and actually illustrating those experiences we had with the LRG experience, with the events and everything we have done in the industry too. So, since you're a social media influencer, how do you see 2026?
I'm not an influencer, but I actually have really dear friends of mine, Maria and Dan Odell. I'm actually joining them for a little Zoom next week in their group. And Dan is so kind to call me an influencer.
That's right.
And I was like, me? Oh my God. So Dan, if you're watching, thank you so much. No, I'm not an influencer, but I'm a firm believer and I'm a practitioner. And if you have never used social media, should you be using it? Yes. Will it make you hundreds of thousands of dollars? Probably not. Okay. You kind of need to identify your superpower. What is going to be that one thing that's probably going to help you to move your needle when it comes to real estate sales? We use social media strictly for brand recognition and share who we are. Okay. So people can know us, like us, and trust us. All right. There's some, especially at Real Broker right here, Real Broker, work hard, be kind. We have some super high level video content creators, and this is like their life, and they get business that way. I already understood. It's not going to be me. It ain't me. You know what I'm saying? How the DJ Khaled says or whatever. It ain't me. But I will do what I can at my comfort level. I work with the best video production companies in town who actually help me to escalate my presence. And then I think we got super lucky to get platform marketing, Colorado Springs Market. And now we do what they say. We do the listing videos. They help us boost it, do the ads, and with the more visibility, friends, just keep in mind that you are going to get some heat. Some last comments we have been getting, specifically me.
Ice.
They were not kind. People threatened to call ice on me. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Let's see what happens. Or somebody says, if that's how you market, I will never walk into your office. Good, because I don't want you in my office either. But I'm not mad. I have seen a lot of heat throughout the year. And you know what? As Mel Robbins says, let them. Ha!
I love it. And social media, is always a hot topic in real estate industry or sales. But, you said it, visibility builds trust well before the transaction comes. And another thing you talked about with, using social media to build brand recognition, ultimately trust, but it's really to have a voice for good.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a world like you just talked about, like people will have ice comments because of an accent. Like, isn't that wild?
No, but also because of the Rodriguez last name, probably too.
Well, dang, double header. And so it's crazy because social media, I would say for the most part, a lot of the industry uses it for entertainment. Yes, there's some edutainment in there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's always maybe something, just some provocative, some hook. And I think as an industry, one of the biggest things I want to do in 2026 is to help professionalize the industry and use social media, use YouTube, use LinkedIn, use actual literature to show people that you need to have character. You need to consider this profession as a vocation. And, I started Duty Honor Real Estate. We just hit 1,000 downloads.
Congrats. That's awesome.
And it's been incredible kind of journey just seeing all the leaders in the industry. And I think more than ever, if you don't know what you want to do in social media, Sharon Srivatsa said it the best. He said, your competence is your content. Right? Your character is your content. And that's so important because you don't have to follow the trends. You don't have to do all this funny stuff or all this cool stuff. You just really need to build trust. And you do that through using social media as a cause for good.
And for our friends who are watching and maybe you have not adopted social media as your strategy, but it's something you want to do for 2026, there's 3 platforms, actually 4, excuse me. So there's YouTube. YouTube works very well for educational long format content. So there's a lot of YouTube masterminds you can find online how to do YouTube videos. And one thing with YouTube, you have to be very consistent. Okay, then we have TikTok. Yeah, and TikTok is, oh my God, throughout the years, TikTok algorithms have changed drastically. I used to be a creator, currently at 50,000 followers, just sitting there, not posting anything. I have my own reasons why I stopped posting. Reach out to me in private, I'll share with you. But if you have a brand of maybe non-real estate brand that you want to promote, or if you want to gain like followers fast, TikTok will be the one platform because TikTok competes with YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you are consistent on TikTok and you want to promote yourself or your brand, and one of your videos is going to take off viral, you will get followers. Then, of course, there's Instagram. And Instagram, if you are not planning to invest in a high-level video content, Instagram may not be for you. I'm a still firm believer in Facebook. Facebook is face-to-face. Facebook will be the platform where people actually get really, really genuine about their posts. They get really vulnerable. So if somebody's dog dies or somebody gets engaged or somebody baby announcement, it's probably going to go on Facebook first versus Instagram because the Facebook, they are surrounded by their dear friends and family, trusted people. And that has been number one platform for me. And I know there is one platform that I did not call, but it's not really a social media platform, but it's LinkedIn.
Yes, LinkedIn. It's something that I started. I got a good training session with Lauren Dempsey.
That's right.
In Denver.
She motivated us. Let's go.
And she definitely motivated us on our Legacy Builders Zoom, where we give people, mindset, methodology, motivation. And she definitely gave us motivation to use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And learn a lot from her. And that really helped me grow to finding the second biggest buyer I've ever had. Technically second biggest buyer. And I'll never forget the power of really that ecosystem that's in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because again, Lauren always said, like in Instagram, people may not have jobs, but in LinkedIn, people have jobs. And so you're speaking to an audience that you could say is qualified, sophisticated, and probably ready to purchase and looking for someone who can help them. And so I would recommend, if you don't like the other alternatives, right, social media, think of LinkedIn, think of YouTube, and honestly, think of your own newsletter, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's safe to assume that people who actually are content creating on LinkedIn, they're not the ones who are doing little silly dances on TikTok. It's a completely different bracket.
Sometimes those are sprinkled in.
Sometimes.
But yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
But we know what works, right? In social media. But in 2026, out of all the things we've talked about today, we talked about the values and timing in life seasons. We've talked about AI and technology. We talked about being present. Yeah. We talked about social media. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. Yeah. And so, like you said, work works.
Work works.
And like my famous coach, I'm a big groupie, Ryan Serhant, he says the work will set you free. And, I don't care what anyone says. I think he works more than anyone in the industry. And whether it's a show or not, his production speaks. And so how are you going to work in 2026 or work differently?
How I'm going to work differently. Well, before I go into that, I feel like if you are a real estate professional, you're watching this, or if you are lending title, if you are self-employed, if you're running your own business, 2026 is the year for us to get super selfish about our businesses, okay? Meaning, eliminate all the distractions. All the noise, just block it off. Me, as a mom of 3 right now, who's also operating full-time career, I do not have time to waste, okay? Number one, my goal will be for me, am I healthy enough to operate on a high level? I took a hit. The pregnancy was hard on my body, all kind of things. And I'm doing all these detoxes. I'm getting myself stronger because I'm committed to the grind. I'm committed to our family. And I cannot stop selling because our future and our family's future depends on it. Is our family okay? I know I can operate on a high level if our kids are okay, if they're taken care of, because if they're not, I will be very, very distressed. And, we made some sacrifices. I feel like we've been making sacrifices our entire real estate career to pivot and adopt, even with you getting out of the military, moving my parents here from Latvia. And now we made a big financial decision to move my mother closer to us so she can help us watch our children, so we can go and perform at high level and deliver for our clients. And then, of course, sales. I'm a socialite person. I love being within people, but I'm very clear that in 2026, my time will be limited, who I'm going to spend it with and how I'm going to spend it with. Because right now, the main focus is myself, health, God, you and I, our marriage, then our family, and then it's going to be my client community and, of course, our real agents who are committed to being with us and committing to the growth, because I'm there for them if they're committed to be here with me.
No, and I love how you talk about those values that are important for us in this new season. Bryan Buffini, when we were at the live event in Vegas, one of the biggest things I remember is like you need to have the capacity. And the capacity when you start is probably a lot better, right? Because you're younger, you're full of ambition.
Yeah.
But when you are 10 years, over 1,700 transactions, over 700 million in production, it wears on you. And I'm so happy that, we are kind of going on this health journey. Yeah. And we know that our family, our unit needs to be more tighter than ever so that you can provide that opportunity for them. And, again, if you guys listen, it's okay to be selfish. Lana talks about that. And I'm glad she said that, because all I wanted to do was just focus on us. And Lana's a big giver. But at times in different seasons, you're going to have to focus on you. Another thing that comes with work, and you may not like the word I'm going to say.
Is it due diligence?
No. But it's a
budget?
I have a lot of words, but
Yeah.
this one word is what? Accountability.
Oh God. Yeah.
And
One.
it's funny because I think accountability is a bad word in today's world. And I just grew up on accountability, with the military, football, just, being around different archetypes.
Yeah.
Coach Jen. And it's funny because I feel like accountability needs to be embraced because everyone wants to have stuff.
Yeah.
They want to have success. They want to have the dream life, but they're really just complacent. Yeah. They say they want it, but they're happy. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
And they say it because they want to be cool. And I would tell you, if you don't have someone that's going to hold you accountable, if you don't have a group, an ecosystem that's going to hold you accountable, you're going to have to look in the mirror and do some self-accountability. But Lana and I are here and real legacy builders.
Yeah.
And all the groups that you're a part of, like how is accountability helping people work better?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm blessed with the triple J.
Triple J.
Triple J. I have 3 amazing coaches, and they're all very different. I have Coach Jen, I have Coach Julie, and I have Coach Jacqueline.
Wow.
So how blessed am I? And all these people call me out on my shit.
That's good.
They call me out on my shit, and they do it with a love and respect. And I need this because I'm a team player. All right. And real estate it doesn't have to be lonely. It is a lonely sport because you're a self-entrepreneur. You wake up every freaking morning unemployed. And this is what I want to bring to our audience. We had a conversation with our new agent who just joined us a few days ago. I don't know if you remember. And we were just kind of like motivating her how to get started. She's an independent business owner. She's getting into real estate. It was her dream for 20 years. And I think the reason why you and I kind of succeeded in this business, because we had core values from our previous professions. I came to real estate from retail. And I was, like, I'll never forget my first real estate interviewing with Joe Clement at RE/MAX. I came suited up. I studied everything about him, about the company, and I came to deliver. And he's like, who are you? Like, you need to be at this company because I was used to interview with corporate retailers, and you better come up with your bells and whistles on. And I treated my real estate career like a career. It was not like, oh, let me just kind of gug around. No. And I remember when you started going to your first appointments, you would bring your resume. Guys, he would bring his resume. And I'm like, Bryan, you don't have to do this. But he was an Army officer, and it was a difficult transition for you from military into real estate, like freelance world. But I think your extra preparation still serves you up to this point very well. Like you and your due diligence packets, I was against them, but I'm like, they're growing on me. And I know they want us business because like other agents are not doing that. And just you coming over prepared and taking this so seriously, I appreciate that's about you. And I think anyone who's getting into real estate, and maybe you want to reamp yourself, like treat it as a career. Wake up, okay? Do the schedule. Don't like just kind of, hope for the best. No, we all need to go out there and get to work and show our clients that we're committed, because our clients are always watching us on social media or not. They see if you're showing up, if you're doing okay, if you're still a person with integrity, okay, because unfortunately hard markets have some agents making wrong decisions, and just make sure it's not you, because your client is always watching.
That's a warning.
Well,
One, I want to thank Michael Kors. So if Michael Kors is listening,
where's the logo?
it's up behind you.
Michael Kors, you guys, right here.
Because that's where I met Lana. And like Lana said, your Old Testament, if you will, shows up in the New Testament. And, I always talk about the double D's, right? The due diligence packet. And it's so important because, like, in the industry, everyone's going to tell you how to get a lead. Like, this is how you work on getting a lead through social media, through different ways of attraction, which is awesome. But, Ryan Surin says it, it used to be what you know, right? And who you know. But then now with AI and social media, it's attraction. But if you can combine both, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be there, how to attract leads. But what's not there is how do you do due diligence? How do you understand, nurture, work, deal with objection, resolutions for real estate challenges and opportunities. And through the due diligence packet, I will be doing literally a seminar online at Duty Honor Real Estate, going line by line of how I prepare a seller and a buyer to getting the right property, the right time, the right, mitigating risk factors. And so, but one thing in preparation, because like you said, real estate, we can't do it alone. And I've loved how you have always thought of other people to bring into the LRG enterprise, if you will.
Yeah.
And so think about those vendors we've had over the years, right?
Yeah. Yeah, vendor relationships go a long way for me. As a matter of fact, all the relationships go a long way for me. Like, for example, even just yesterday, we hosted Steph Fortman and her amazing team. The gals drove 3 hours from Wyoming just so we can have a mastermind. And I actually practiced night before so I can deliver on a level 100 the topics they wanted to discuss. And we had an amazing lunch. And we are just longtime friends. We're part of the platform crew. And we actually used to be at Real Broker together, but she's no longer there. She started independent real estate practice, but like what I told her, brokerage does not define us. My friendship with you is much more important. And for our audience watching, I want to just reiterate 3 things that if you are kind of feeling lost or maybe less motivated for 2026, 3 things you should be focusing on is: number 1, find yourself a mentor or a coach. If you cannot afford a coach, find a mentor, either within your brokerage or just maybe agent in your market who you really look up to, and just ask, hey, can I buy you a lunch? Or just, can I come to the office? I'm really struggling, and can you just please give me some pointers, all right? And anyone who's a servant leader, who's been in the business for a long time, if they would tell you no, they're a moron. Because I know we all always will be open, okay? No matter what kind of brokerage part of you, if you're struggling, if I can help you, let's go. Number 2, educate yourself as much as you can. Education is key always in all ways. This industry is progressing and moving way too fast. So if you are left behind, it may hurt you down the line, because consumers are getting educated too. All right. I have clients who are using the same ChatGPT than I do. And we were sitting at the home inspection. She's ChatGPTing and I am, and we're comparing our answers. This is real deal. So if you are behind, please don't do this to yourself. And of course, number 3, communicate in a most strategic way, because when things are tough or when the stakes are high, over communication is the key. All right, even if you have stale listings, do the market update, look up the comps in the area, reach out to your sellers, because the minute your client is reaching out to you for questions or updates, you already lost.
Obviously, I got my opinion on those 3. It's funny with mentorship. I don't think I need to be mentored.
Of course you don't.
Unless it's Ryan Serhant, The Rock.
Yeah, but we are getting you one-on-one coach. We're working on it, right? We have somebody in mind, and we're working on it. See if he accepts you.
Yeah, at Bryan Buffini and company. And so I'm excited because I think they're coming to Springs.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's going to be really a great opportunity to quickly find a mentor, a coach, and an ecosystem that does accountability.
Yeah, stay tuned for more details, because Buffini & Company announced they are launching Buffini & Company headquarters, Rockies, near Air Force Academy. I'm like, what? Let's go.
Let's go. Education, that's very important for me. Going to West Point, then getting a graduate degree at the University of Denver in real estate, and, my hopes to get a doctorate at the University of Miami.
Oh, Dr. Rodriguez, I'm not calling you like that. Not happening.
But it's so important because, yes, you have AI at your disposal, but there's proven research that actually doing academia helps you become, obviously more professional, but really effective, because what is power, like knowledge is power, but it helps you get deals done. It helps you get leverage. It helps you find creative options for deals. And then lastly, with communication, if you don't communicate, I think you're gone missing. You're kidnapped.
Bryan is super
and
big police on communication.
Well, because, in the military, for all the veterans out there, they know that.
I need to do a commo check.
Yeah, commo check.
Status updates. I'm in the bathroom.
Sit reps. In the bathroom, wow. But for all the veterans out there, security is so important, communication is so important, visibility of assets. Yeah. And so I've always taken that, and I never forget all the messages. And what I'm going to do is post my clients' responses of how they respond to my communication.
Yeah.
You know, the other one, a colonel in the Air Force is like, Bryan, thank you so much for a confidence update, right? Because he's nervous, right? He's
Yeah.
going to close.
Yeah.
An incredible lady who's running an incredible foundation is trying to buy her building for her foundation. And she goes, Bryan, I love you. Like, she is just like, so not like that, but like,
I'm like, what's going on here?
she's like, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an old lady, you know, like older lady, but it's something where this is her legacy. And I'm communicating that I'm going to take care of her.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure her risk is mitigated and not do something foolish. So communication is so important, not just from a business sense, but from a trust sense. Now, we talked a lot.
That was a lot of talking points.
Now, is there a last point? Or is there something we missed for 2026? Maybe a little, bonus round before we say goodbye.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Take care of yourself. You cannot go down because so many people rely on you. Health is the biggest wealth. If you are not healthy, if you're not clear-minded, you cannot take care of your family, or you cannot take care of your loved ones or of yourself. So take care of yourself first, and your goals don't have to be huge. They don't have to be sexy, but just set a couple of goals for this year. And when you accomplish them, celebrate yourself because you work so hard.
Don't forget, work hard, play hard. It's an old Tiesto song.
Work hard, be kind.
Work hard, be kind. But guys, if you love this session here, you love all the little tactics and the insights, stay tuned. There's so much this year, next year, every day. We have Legacy Builders. We have the Elevate Conference. We're part of Real Brokerage that's just growing in collaboration. Lana probably knows every group to be a part of and every coach you should consider depending on your archetype, on your needs, right? Yeah. But regardless, I want to say thank you. And Lana, say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you guys. And maybe I'm going to launch my podcast finally this year. Maybe this is the year. We'll see.
That's
so
right.
Thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. Never too busy for your referrals in Colorado Springs.